4,
Three,
3,
two,
2.
1. You are now live.
Former athlete, businessman, model, fashion influencer, father of 3. Don't be a hating ass bitch.
This guy was good.
Thank you for having me, Kobe. This is fun.
Crazy game, stay crazy, sign me. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? It is your boy. It is your boy, none other than Call Me Crazy, aka Kobe Nasir Wallace, and I am back again. I'm back again. I know I was in DR. I know y'all missed me. They said my skin got pretty. I got pretty. But I'm back. I'm back, and I'm back to work. I'm back to business. Business is booming as usual. Yo, after school days, part 2 with Imani Washington was amazing. So in that regard, y'all know I can't come back with nothing but the W. They said, and with the New York Knicks win for the finals, I had to go back to New York. I had to go back to the towns. They said tonight I have a very special guest on After School Days. I've known this dude since freshman year. Student leader, one of the most recognizable faces on campus. If you went to DSU, you know this guy. You know this guy. They said, so give a round of applause, a warm welcome to the Crazy Talk podcast from my boy, none other than Elijah Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you living?
Bruh. They said, bro, we shaking and moving as only us young and lit niggas can do. That's what we do. Shaking and moving. That's all I do, bro. What you been up to?
You on, bro. Appreciate you having me on for sure.
Nah, bro. Again, like I said in our texts, I appreciate you for coming on. This is a platform where I wanted to, highlight the many friends that I've gained over, my 4 years at a HBCU and show that, people that the HBCU community, it never fucking stops. And so that's what this platform After School Days is about. It's to, talk about not only our experiences, at an HBCU, but that post grad life that a lot of people really don't talk about, and who better to talk about that with than one of the biggest movers of my class. They said, you was already moved, but by the time we graduated, you was coming back, flying back from a job. They said you had a career already set up. So tonight we are going to talk about how that feels. We're going to talk about what that looks like and of course, our DSU experiences. They said we're going to get into a little bit of everything. They said we got some blockbuster topics to talk about. They said the episode with Monty fucking blew up. They said, so I already know that the audience is going to love the takes and the topics that we're going to talk about tonight, right? They said, I just know. They said, first, before we get into, where our careers are, where our lives are, what that looks like for us now post-grad, we have to tackle how you ended up at Delaware State University. You are from, like I said, you are from New York City. How did that come about?
Yeah, bro, it was a freestyle. So I'm originally from Queens, New York. Going to high school, it's not something that was talked about often. HBCUs, in New York it's no HBCUs in New York at all. And so I had to go out and do my own research. This was the time of COVID. This was Black Lives Matter movement, George Floyd, and so everybody was like, "Man, we gotta go support ours, like be where we're wanted." And so at that time, I started doing my research, and I still didn't know a lot of HBCUs. I really only knew Howard because that was the big name on the East Coast, and then Delaware State because my cousin had went there. And if y'all know, if y'all ever seen like the Midnight Breakfast video with Shorty that be Millie rocking in the MLK, that's my cousin, right? So she went to DSU. So you see it running the family, bro. And so I couldn't even tour, right? Because it was COVID, so everything was YouTube, social media, open house virtually, and all of that just gave me the vibe that, you know, like I don't want to be too far from home. I was looking at like FAMU, NCAT. I was like, I don't want to be too far from home. I want to be independent, but still be able to drive back for a holiday or something. And just like that family vibe, right? Like what 5,000-6,000 students, you get like that close knit. Like I'm walking down, like what's going on, Tony Allen, what's going on to my professor, my classmates, people on campus, like recognizable faces, like you said, bro. So that's only a family vibe that you could get out of HBCU, bro.
Absolutely. And I don't think people understand the dynamic of a PWI versus an HBCU. Yes, PWIs are much bigger colleges. You have the opportunity, yes, maybe to meet a lot of diverse people, but you said something there that struck something in my brain, and you said, be where you are wanted, be where people who look like you aren't discriminated against. And there really is no place for discrimination where there is all minorities, right? And so the importance of being in that George Floyd era, that COVID era where shit was bad for Black people, it was important for us to land at HBCUs. So landing at DSU was, in my opinion, by God for all of us. They said that was where we were supposed to be because that community is so robust. Like today, we are still very close knit. We have a group chat and we all still talk. We all still, you know, like, so for me, it was, like you said, that family atmosphere that drove me to DSU, that kept me at DSU. They said while we were at DSU, one of the biggest things I would say people kind of got into was student leadership, right? You know, being on campus, being a recognizable face, it's like being a student leader comes almost synonymously with that. So with that being said, I want to talk about your accolades that you got at DSU. You were Mr. Sophomore, you were CAB president. I mean, let's talk about some of these like high stakes roles you had while you were in college, and then we're going to talk about the pressures that you had while you were in those positions. Yeah,
bro. So let's start by saying, being from Queens and being from New York, like I said, we didn't know anything about HBCUs, and I was a student athlete, but I was never ever a student leader. And so I got to campus my freshman year, and I wasn't hostile, right? I was always, you know, like a little bit more introverted at that time, but I was always a good vibe. But I was me mugging a little bit. Like it's something about like being from the East Coast where you just stay to yourself. And so that second semester, I started getting out more, joining different organizations, joining MOCA, Companion Champions, doing a little bit more service. Like I just love to give back, love to you know, make positive impacts on people's lives. And so one thing again about an HBCU, right? Like you go to PWI, a whole bunch of people, but you just like a tiny little speck there, right? At HBCU, like you're able to make an impact without a position, right? So at the time, I was joining different organizations, and from there, networking, meeting a whole bunch of people, like really becoming interested in student leadership. Jonte, at the time, became my mentor, so guided me along that path. And in my head, I was like, man, at freshman year, my goal was to be Mr. DSU, right? And so I was like, what steps do I take to get there? And so it was a big like stepping outside my comfort zone, running from Mr. Sophomore, man, but it was necessary, right? And that's only the growth that you can have at an HBCU, bro. So when for Mr. Sophomore, was uncontested, got that joint. The following year, went for campus activity board president, and then going into my senior year, like I said, the goal was originally to run for Mr. DSU, but after I sat back and really like analyzed like what's important to me, what my priorities was at the time, like it changed from freshman year to junior year. My priorities had changed, and I was more so concerned about graduating early so I could start my master's program and going straight into the workforce. So some of those things just didn't line up with the goal, like what I wanted. Right. And so I ended up having to make a decision, right? And at the end of the day, like I got no regrets with it. And shout out my boy Tay, who carried that joint for real. Nobody else better to do it. But during that time, I was chapter president for my fraternity. So and always in some way, shape, or form, serving as a student leader. So
That's amazing. I want to talk to you about, of course, your position as campus activities board president. I
yeah,
mean, we have to talk about one of the most highest, like, yes, SGA president, that's a tough job. You know, being Mr. DSU, a tough job. Being Mr. Sophomore, a tough job. All of those things, tough jobs. But what is it like on an HBCU to be the face of the fun?
It's crazy, bro. Like, man, to this day, I'm always saying like stressed but blessed. You feel me? And at that time, going into it, it's crazy because like I tell people to come into like the new cab boards now when they call me ask for advice. Like I ain't trying to scare you, bro, but it be some bullshit. Like it be some bullshit. Like at the end of the day, is dope, right? Like you get to throw the biggest events on campus. You get to manage like a large budget. You get to meet all the celebrities. Like it looks like all flashy and cool. And I'm not saying that it's not, right? But the sacrifice that you got to make for that is all of the BS that goes on behind closed doors, right? Like dealing with officers, student leadership and success, and all of those offices, right? And planning and getting approvals and dealing with public safety and trying to throw a function and they cancel your function last minute. Now you got to tell the students it's canceled, and they're not looking at the higher ed. They're not looking at the different people that's in full-time positions working here. They're looking at you because you're the face of it. So it's a Peter Parker joint, bro. Like so much responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, bro. And it's fire. Like the experiences I had there, I still talk about, man. Even when I was applying for jobs, like just the stuff that I was able to do with like leading my team as president to like handling the budget and getting things done was so dope. And when you high off it, bro, like high, bro, it's lit. Like, bro, I just threw an event. Remember the first joint was like the DTLR when we had Lola Brooke pull up Rock 49, and I really sat down that night. Like, I just helped basically throw an event that thousands of people came through and enjoyed and are gonna remember forever, right? And took something away from it and like impacted their life positively, which was always the mission. But man, like homecoming, bro, they was tearing me up. Like, I felt like I was I felt like I played for the Spurs or something, bro. They was blowing my phone up, bro.
No, it was bad. It was bad.
People like talk to somebody genuinely though. Like people stopped talking to me as Eli or as Elijah, right? Like people started talking to me just as Cat Prez, and it would just simply be like, "Hey, I need a ticket, bro. Bro, can you get me here? Can you?" I'm like, "Damn, you ain't gonna say what's up no more." Like like it was all of that, and so it started to like cook me after a while. And I'm like, "Bro, don't address me by no cap stuff if I'm not on no cap stuff."
Right.
Man, at the end of the day, bro, it was hella dope, bro. Like we got to do so much cool stuff, and I feel like all of that adversity that I dealt with being in student leadership helped. So now I can solve complex problems now, right? Because you learn a lesson at the end of the day, bro. And it was something that I grew in. It wasn't the easiest, and thank God, like it's a little bit easier now. Like the systems are built better. But that's the goal, right? You come in there, you see things that's not working, you work to try to get them better, bro. I don't got no regrets. But after that year, though, I was like, I'm cool with the student leadership. I had my run with it, bro. But bro, it was dope. But man, I remember people on side chat like, "Yo, I know you're bro. I'm about to pull up on you." Like, looking back at that, so funny, bro. I ain't gonna say that I never cared about any of it, because at the end of the day, especially when it's your colleagues, people that you are close with, and you're just hearing it all the time, and you're in college, bro, like obviously it's gonna take a toll on you, right? But I ain't really let it affect me too much. But it's certain things that I'm just like, man, like it used to stress me out, like it used to cook me genuinely, bro.
No, I know that, and being around you in person at that time, you could definitely tell that there was a little bit of a toll that was taken. You were like getting to your wits end with the shit. Like by the end of the school year, you was like, all right, like my term is almost over. I'm just letting shit play out.
Like let's run it, bro.
Yeah, just run it. Like, and so I wanted to definitely have the conversation of the pressures that student leaders have, because I do want people, who are still in undergrad, who are watching this, to see that these positions are a lot. You're not just a figurehead. You know what I'm saying? Like you do have a certain amount of responsibility when you apply for these positions, to not only take it on and make something better, but like you said, go in, see that shit ain't right, and change it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand that our CAD president, they don't have more power than the person over top of them that says yes or no.
Yeah,
So it's
they got
like,
somebody on top of them, bro. Like,
and so it's like people on campus have to understand the inner workings of these positions in order for them to understand that they have to extend more grace to people in these positions, right?
oh, for sure.
Being on a college campus is like you said, it's fun. You were a CAT president, you were a student leader, you were one of the most recognizable faces. That then turned into you becoming an initiate of Alpha Phi Alpha. Let's talk about your life as, someone would call it a frat boy. Do you fall victim to those stereotypes, or what is it like? What is the pressure like being behind those stereotypes? Do you see yourself having to kind of almost like overrise to the occasion because now you have Greek letters on your back and you don't want to be seen as nothing less than also the educated man that you are?
Yeah, so similar to just HBCUs in general, I know nothing about Greek life. We don't got. I ain't gonna say we don't have, because I know a couple of my frat brothers that's in New York, right? But it's not as prominent. Chapters are smaller, right?
Right.
And it's something that is not advertised or promoted to us, and so coming
In
to
our urban communities, yeah,
for sure. So coming to college campus, I was like, I'm cool with all of that, bro. Like, I'm trying to do that ass stories. Like, so then went to the org fair, and one thing I noticed, bro, I saw, if any of y'all remember, like Vontae, Dre, I seen a couple of those brothers, Spence, that was in student leadership, right? So like I would see them at the org fair, like suit and tie, and then I would see them at the core vibe later turn, you know what I'm saying? So the duality of a man is the first thing I peeped in. So at that org fair, I asked them like, hey, like, what are you involved in, right? Like I'm trying to just put my face out there, right? Not even about the notability, but really just trying to like build a community. At the end of the day, I'm cool here, right? So they told me like join Men of Color Alliance, join God Brothers, join these different organizations, right? And they told me that they're members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And so from there, I just started doing my research, right? And like everything that bro stood for, and especially with the amount of brothers on the campus that was from Queens, New York, I could see myself in them. And so coming from where I came from, right, and not having that around me, to then seeing them and people that grew up like close to my neighborhood, like become student leaders, get job offers, and have all of these different things, make impacts in people's lives, by still keeping it keeping it cool, and then serving women right, like taking care of the campus, throwing the vibes, like all of that stuff, bro. I was like, man, I want to get involved with y'all. Like these are some key qualities and attributes that I wouldn't obtain, and so already having been in student leadership, I was Mr. Sophomore when I crossed. I understood the importance of having a brand and keeping your brand clean, right? So understanding that everything that you do once you're in this position is going to go back to the overall either student leadership position, the school, the fraternity, the chapter, whatever may have you, right? And so I already knew that before I crossed, and I was the youngest on my line. And honestly, as far as like stereotypes go, like it's funny, right? Because you come out and it's like, oh, he about to have like his neo phase and like all of these different things, bro. Like it's lit. I ain't gonna lie, bro, it's lit. But one thing for sure, like whoever you was before is gonna be whoever you was after.
Right.
Now you can try to change and alter yourself or whatever, but you still gonna be the same person, right? Like don't get me wrong, like you learn lessons along the way. You grow into the person that you're becoming, right? Like you grow into a new person, but that's who you was gonna be anyway. That's your trajectory, right? That's what God had planned for you. But you don't come out and hit a switch and be a whole different person. Like you just go through some growth and you start to develop into the person you are. Because I was very much like introverted growing up, and then I started becoming more extroverted, and that's the person that I was meant to be, right? Didn't change or anything like that, but that's just like who I was growing into. And so for me, like I didn't really feel a lot of like the pressure like coming out. Man, I had a lot of years on the yard, especially because I crossed as a sophomore, and then getting into the work didn't stop there. So getting into leadership within the chapter, I was vice president my first year, and then the second 2 years I served as president, bro. Like anything I had my hand in, I just wanted it to be well. I wanted it to be like, whether it's winning chapter of the year, winning the step show, whatever the case may be. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna put my all into it. I don't believe on if I'm gonna do something 50%, like I'm just not gonna do it. And so yeah, bro, great experience, man. Like brothers that I have literally for the rest of my life. So man, even going to DC now for my birthday weekend, I'm about to link up with a lot of my guys, bro. And these be like the best times of the year. It's just like seeing familiar faces, linking up with my bros, like I promise you, it's like nothing like it.
Right.
For sure.
Amazing. So talk to me more about that brotherhood. Talk to me more about that family that comes with being in a fraternity, because I think a lot of people in our community, the Black community, don't understand kind of the whole full scope of that. You know, I think a lot of Black people do a disservice when we go on these social platforms and we say, well, don't nobody want to be in no gang, or that's a gang, or this.
I want to pay for friends and all this other stuff.
Yeah, you know, all the things that come out about fraternities and sororities in the Black community. I want to kind of set that narrative down, right? I think it is important because firsthand seeing, like, I am not in a Greek fraternity or a sorority. They said so. Seeing from the outside of the club firsthand how things operate, I could never go out and say, nigga, that's a gang, or I would hate to pay for friends, or I could not say it because I know the importance of these things just by having friends in those, you know, organizations. So talk to me about that kind of status conferral that fraternities and sororities both get from the Black community. How does that make, you know, you as a Black man who's very pro-Black, who's very, you know, you, like you just said 5 minutes ago, you've always wanted to be on the right side, and you went to a HBCU because you wanted to build those communities within your community. Tell me what that's like, hearing those kind of critiques from Black people.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good and bad thing that we live in the social media age, because it allows us to connect and communicate with people that we otherwise wouldn't be able to. But it also gives a lot of people the platform to say things that they have no knowledge on, right? That they're ignorant about. And so for a lot of people, if you haven't been to a HBCU or a college in general, you're not knowledgeable about Greek life. And I can't even blame a lot of people because I wasn't before I got here, right? And so I understand them. But one thing I do is I don't speak on nothing that I don't know about if I didn't do my research about it. And so what a lot of people fail to recognize is where everything started, right? Especially with my fraternity being first, because we weren't able to join these white fraternities, right? And everything that we built was for the betterment of the Black community, right? Yeah. So a lot of people miss that part of the history lesson. They just see what they see on TikTok, which is the strolling, the partying, the negative stuff. At the end of the day, nobody's gonna think about what gets the most shares on social, right? Is it the community service, or is it the Q was strolling the party, hopping, and he picked up a shorty? And you get what I'm saying? Like, what has more shareability and value in the group chat, right? And so those are the only parts that are getting highlighted. And so I just say, like, a lot of people just aren't knowledgeable on like what we actually stand for, right? Like all the work that we're doing in the community, how large the organizations are, right? Man, it's crazy. Like I just talk about my frat brothers, like brother Dr. Martin Luther King, right? W.E.B. Du Bois, like Thurgood Marshall, man, like Governor Westmore. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a lot of bros, and that's just my fraternity, but it just spans, right, of like Black people that's making an impact, man. And this ain't no Illuminati, is none of that, right? And when they talk about like paying for brotherhood, or paying for friends, right? It's understanding that you're joining an organization. Any type of organization, even if you was playing AAU basketball, you had a fee to pay to supply yourself with what you need, right? Yeah. Them fees, right, is going into back into the fraternity for us to do great things. So when we see a problem occurring, we can say, hey, we're going to donate $10,000 to that cause as a fraternity. Back into the chapter, right, where now the chapter is able to host events. You know how many like free things we did on campus? Man, like either sanctioned or unsanctioned, like just for the betterment of campus, betterment of the people. Think about homecoming, right? How much food and beverage and all of these things are being served, vibes, the DJs and all of that stuff. Like these are chapter dues that's coming out of our pockets to help support, right? Or we fundraise, right? So, man, and I ain't gonna lie, bro, it really ain't that expensive, bro. Like it's a couple hundred a year, bro. You know how much people spend on weed and liquor, like every month, bro? Yeah. Like put that in perspective, dude. But if you would have asked somebody online, like how much are they paying a year for friends, they wouldn't be able to tell you, right? So it's just the ignorance there. And it's not for everybody, right? And I wouldn't force it on everybody. And just because you're interested in it, you want to do certain things, like you got to come to like that understanding, that knowledge, and research yourself, right? So I'm glad that I did it. I'm blessed that I had the opportunity to do it. Other thing people don't understand is we're different from the white sororities and fraternities, right? Because with a Black Greek fraternity and sorority, these extend beyond college. So you know, people are used to seeing the movies, right, where you just, you know, you're in a fraternity or sorority in college, didn't take much to get there at a PWI, and then post grad, like you just hang out with the boys every now and then, but you're no longer a member of that organization. This is very much different. Like I'm in a grad chapter, right? So I'm in Dallas. I moved from New York to Dallas after I left DSU, and I'm still serving in my chapter. I just had a chapter meeting last weekend where we're still continuing to do work. And there's brothers in my chapter that 80, 90 years old that have been in the fraternity for, man, over 50 years, continuing to do work, right? So it's just understanding like that dynamic of it that a lot of people don't see. And, you know, we don't really do the best job at highlighting, bro, within the Black community. But, you know, everybody crabs in the bucket, man. Everybody just want to tear each other down and don't want to really like learn about each other, bro. So it's dope though, because the other side of it is like with social media, like we get so much exposure. So now little kids is like, oh, I want to be a noob. I want to be an AKA, and positive things, right? Like, man, but I'd much rather see somebody perping and doing my show on social media than in the streets within gun violence and gang violence, all this other stuff, right? Like at least you're pursuing something that forces you to have to go to college, right? So that's the way I look at it, right? Like if you really want to compare the two. So it's a positive thing, bro.
They said great fucking comparison, because I am sick and tired of seeing people online, or people period. Like I know people in my real life who didn't go to college, or that wasn't their plan, and they're just like, I don't see how people can do that, or I don't see this, or how do you believe in God? And this is all these things. And I think you said the best answer to kind of shut all that shit down. I would never do anything or talk about anything without doing the proper research first. And I don't know whether that's me as a journalist or if that's just me as a curious ass nigga. I'm not doing anything unless I really set my eyes down on some pages, some articles, and some pictures to make sure I got the full scope of what the fuck is going on, right? So I think that was very important. I think it's also a great segue into how social media kind of has this hold, not over just our generation, but multiple generations at this point, multiple generations, boomers, Gen Z, fucking millennials. We have all kind of grown up around social media or utilize social media for the better parts of our lives. Do you think social media is doing a disservice to the world? Is it doing more of dividing the world than it is to connect, which was the kind of the basis of social media? Talk to me about your opinions on the state of social media today.
I think social media is a double-edged sword, but I think I'll just start by saying that it's definitely connected more than it's divided. We see a lot of division, right? But man, the ability for me to be able to see content from somebody in Nigeria, and be able to relate to their content, understand their lifestyle off of a video that they posted, a 60-second video, comment on it, DM that person, have a conversation about something that we have in common. When, bro, we was never able to do this, bro. I'm acting like I'm mad old or something, bro, but people was never able to do something like that. And so I feel like all of those like connections outweigh all the division, right? Now, one thing social media is well, a lot of things that they're causing, but one of the main things is like it's taking away from the human to human connection, right? Because now we're talking through a phone and we're communicating through a phone, and people are now shy and timid, and everybody's got anxiety and all of this different stuff, right? Because they're not used to like going up to somebody and say, hey, how are you? My name is, and having those interactions, right? But man, like that's what I mean in my job, right? I know we're gonna get to that later, but that's my job, right? Like we're trying to reinstill like human to human connection through social media and really tell like those stories, right? I mean, so it's ways to do it if you're using it the right way, which most people don't. And it's dangerous for like a lot of young children, right? Like growing up, my pops ain't let me have social media, bro. Like I didn't have social media till I got to high school, bro. I was sneaking on Snapchat, bro. I didn't get like an IG and shit till like high school. And bro, I never understood why, you know, your parents tell you to do these different things or why they set these rules. You don't understand at the time. But now as I grew up, I'm like, man, like, you know, when they be saying like our brains are cooked, like our brains are really cooked, bro. Bro, I find myself doom scrolling sometimes too, and I'm just like, damn, like, gotta pull myself out the matrix, bro.
And it's like you do these type of things without even knowing like those buzzwords to them. Like you doom scroll without even knowing what the fuck a doom scroll. I didn't know what that was. All I knew was I was on my motherfucking phone every day scrolling. Instagram, TikTok, fake, whatever. I'm just scrolling because, like you said, we do have that detachment from human to human connection. So it's like this is almost our human to human connection within this generation.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Now, for someone like I just use myself as an example, right?
Mhm.
Man, I be on the fence to posting heavy, bro. Like I like to post like I got you on Finsta, bro. I'm about to add you, bro.
I don't think I have you on Insta.
All right, but I'm gonna add you on there, bro, because I'll be posting my whole life on there because I'm in Dallas and obviously I got my own community now out here, but it took me a while to build that. And so for a while, like, bro, like moving to a new city, it's it's a little bit lonely, bro. And so you like instead of calling people and texting people and you have your close people like that, I want to just talk to like my general like friend group, right? And everyone like that. Like I'll just post my thoughts on Finsta, post everything that matters to me there. And we have those engagements there, and that stuff is very important. Like I get to keep up with like my people's lives, and oh man, my man just got married and all of that different stuff. But it's just about how you use it, because other side of things, people will see it and they'll even see stuff that I post and they just be like, damn, why can't I have this, or why can't I be that? And bro, once you start comparing yourself, bro, and it happens at every level, bro. I'll give you an example, like content, right? My content to a lot of people is like phenomenal. Now for me, when I look at somebody else, like somebody that I'm aspiring to create, like I might be like, damn, my shit ain't like theirs. And they might look at somebody else and be like, damn, my shit ain't like theirs. And it doesn't stop, bro. Like you gotta be happy with where you're at, right? And you the thief for all joy. And I feel like a lot of people, it's easier said than done, bro. And it just happens subconsciously. Like when you see something, you be like, damn, how much they pay for that with, bro? Like, do you think they bought that?
What they working on? Yeah,
bro, you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, and what's, bro, the craziest thing, when I was unemployed, bro, I'm scrolling on LinkedIn and I'm seeing everybody post their accomplishments and I'm hating, bro, subconsciously. And when I really sat down and be like, bro, you gotta like genuinely just like love this shit for everyone, bro, because you just have to, bro. Like just genuinely, like I love to see other people doing well. So many more opportunities start falling in my lap from just giving back to people, showing love to people genuinely, right? Like when you do it with pure heart, man, like it's enough for everybody to eat, bro. It really is.
Yep. It really is. It's definitely enough for everybody to eat, and I sympathize with that a lot because I am in that same very position. Having a podcast, having something where you're putting out a product, that can be judged for the world, is you always have that of all joy, that comparison of, or you have that I could have did this better. I could have did this different. I should have started this earlier, or I should have did this while I was in college. I have those battles almost daily. Like, damn, how big I could have been if I podcasted while I was in college and I had all those people right there in the palm of my hands, as an audience, right? But like you said, once you start doing shit with a genuine heart and intention, shit falls in your lap. It really, really falls in your lap. Like I said, this whole journey of podcasting, at first, I was very like, me. I ain't the type of nigga. I ain't in everybody's face. But if I know you, if I fuck with you, I'm a very warm person. I'm a very laughable. I'm all those things. But showing that to people who I don't fucking know, it was hard for me. So it's like, you got to find something where when these cameras turn on, you're able to show people who you are without being like a motherfucking friend to them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a friend to everybody to give them, glimpses of who you are, glimpses of your personality. And I think that, like you were talking about within your content, that is what sets you apart from a lot of people, is that your content is pretty good for someone who wasn't doing content. Like I could have swore you started content out of nowhere. And I was just like, okay. And then you moved to Dallas. And I was like, okay. And then you had a career. Oh shit. And it was like seeing the stepping stools for me was gratifying. Like, damn, I knew this nigga. I know this nigga. I watched him be Mr. Sophomore, and now he has a full-fledged career. Everything that people in our class want when we leave college. We want that setup, I
appreciate that, bro, because a lot of people, and social media, right? So you're not gonna post everything, bro. If I was homeless right now, you think I posted I was homeless? Nobody's gonna do that, bro. Like, So you and that's the beauty of it, right? Like you get on there, you share your accomplishments, you share your good moments. I like to share a little bit of both. But like you said, you seen like those different like stepping stones of me getting there. Not everybody sees that, and some people just show up at the end and be like, "How you get there? Why I didn't get there in 2 days? Man, it didn't take no damn 2 days, bro." And I'm still not where I want to be. Like I said, it's always something more that you got to strive for, bro. But like when you look at those other creators or other people in your position, right? Instead of looking at it in jealousy, right, and envy, look at it as like motivation, like right, and it's like an example of like, hey, I can do it as well. That means it's possible, right? And once I started looking at things that way, feel me, and just doing what I love, bro, everything will come together, bro. Everything will come together, bro.
So talk to me about how you got into starting content. Talk to me about how you what were those kind of influences that you saw where it's like, not only can I do this, but I can be good at this. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so my first time creating content was, as you mentioned before, like being in student leadership. I had a platform, and so I would get like brand ambassador stuff from like HBCU clothing brands and different photo shoot opportunities, and then it led to me doing prime student as a campus influencer. Man, I was trash, bro. I was barely uploading content. My content was garbage. But I tell people at the time, like, if you want to do something, the goal is to be as fast as possible. You always, bro, anything you start, when I start playing, I'm trying to get into golf. Once I start playing golf, I'm gonna be terrible. I'm gonna be absolutely garbage. But the more I go and the faster I'm asked, the sooner I get good, bro. Yeah, bro. The sooner I get good, bro, you're gonna be asked regardless, bro.
Right.
But if I procrastinate and be like, I don't want to do it because I'm asked, I'm gonna be asked next year. I'm gonna be asked the next year. You know what I'm saying, bro? I started now, but next year I might be a little good. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, bro, I really like fell in love with it, bro. And so from there, I did Cricket Wireless Campus Ambassador, and I'm starting to each time just creating more and more and just learning different things. And once you're really interested and you fall in love with something, it starts to like pop up in the things that you consume. The algorithm starts feeding it to you. So now I'm seeing like creative videos. I'm getting inspiration from other creators and all of these different things, right? Like whether it's like HBCU influencers or people that just talked about their life and all of that other stuff. And then from there, I started creating my own content, right? I started making UGC, bro. And to the point now, like I got to get back active, bro. And honestly, I just been taking a break because remember I told you, like, if I'm not going to do it 100%, like I ain't going to do it at all, bro. Right. And so with like just everything, man, I create content every day at work, bro. So between like my schedule there and like school and all that other stuff, like I felt like I wasn't 100% in it. But as of late, like the content that I've been making has been more introspective and really focusing on being like transparent and being personable and being authentic and having people resonate with me for me, like you said, right? And so like talking about those things about like the difficulty of moving to a new city, like the beauties of traveling and just everything that's on my mind. So I think the next content that's going to be coming out, people are going to really be able to like understand me. Like you don't know me, right? Because it's just social media, but you're going to be able to really understand me. And I'm going to talk about a lot of different things that people are going through, whether it's anxiety, whether it's stress, whether it's depression, the idea of just going to a city where nobody knows you and starting over, man. Like just all of these different things, being on your own timeline, bro, like being as fast, like understand, like going through the process and not like showing all the peaches and cream, bro, but all the gritty work in between, bro. Just letting people know, bro, like how real it is. So that's my goal now for my future content. But I was making UGC, and then from there, some like small businesses, other creators saw it, and they wanted me to help create their content. So I started freelancing. So now I was doing video editing, creative direction, graphic design, like all of that stuff. As a freelancer, I started working at the rec. I remember the rec at DSU didn't want to hire me because I was a bio major at the time, and I hated biology, bro. I just was doing it.
I could have swore your major was something totally different.
I was a bio major, minor, bro, and I started that because black people was like tech or medicine, right? That's where the guaranteed jobs are. That's where the money is. So I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to get to the bag as soon as possible. And when I started to realize that people were actually studying things that they cared about and that they loved, I was like, man, this ain't it for me, bro. Like I wasn't retaining information, doing good in school. I wasn't retaining the information. It wasn't something I was passionate about. And so the more I started to create, the more I started to fall in love with it. And then I started teaching myself, right? And so now I'm creating for, I was a student worker at the Wellness and Recreation Center, creating content for like like intramural sports, like doing all those recap videos, doing all the graphics. And then my second year, I ended up being a supervisor. And then, man, from there like different programs, different stepping stones. I ended up at AT&T with an internship, bro. Blessed to have that joint. But my first summer, I wasn't in social media. I was in product marketing, but I was just happy to just be in marketing, bro, because I was a bio major. And so I was really just learning the business, bro. And I was like, well, it's not like the creative stuff that I wanted to do, but like maybe I just got to settle for something in marketing.
Right.
And I was like, nah, bro, I can't settle. Like I need to go specifically where I want to be. And then applying to different joints like within the creative spaces and still not understanding what that looks like. I didn't think that I could work a corporate job doing social media. I thought that was always a side hustle and I would just do something like semi-creative for work. And so my second time interning, when I was an MBA intern, I landed on the organic social team. And this was like the first year they had moved into the marketing organization. And bro, as you see, bro, like the amount of talent that we get to work with, the amount of access we have, like all of that stuff, bro, like got to work on crazy projects, crazy celebrities, man, like Essence Festival and bunch of other stuff, man. Just in the summer as an intern, bro, and my team, I appreciate them for trusting me and taking me along with them and bringing me under their wings, bro, and teaching me the ways of the land, bro. And while I was there, like I was still learning and growing. And from there, got my full-time offer to come back, and this time like on the sports side of it. So man, I work on everything from college football playoffs to NBA All-Star to F1, golf, all the different sports that we sponsor. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Dak Prescott, like we get to work with a bunch of talent, bro, and truly blessed, bro. Like I never thought I'd be in this position, and this is honestly like my dream, right? Like I assist in like the management of like the social projects, man. Concept, creative direct, capture and edit, man. Like I could do whatever. I do basically like whatever's needed, bro. And it's stressful, man. We move around a lot, bro. Like, man, my team's going to a shoot tomorrow, but I'm gonna be out, bro. I'm gonna be at DC, bro. I gotta take the day off, bro. But it's just crazy, like how fast I was able to like pick up on things because like I'm passionate about it, and because like I knew that if I was crazy about it and I was obsessed and I put in more work than anybody else, then I would get it. Bro. You can't tell me that if I put in 10,000 hours into hoops, bro, right? I make it to the league at whatever height, bro. Like you get what I'm saying? If you put in that pain, bro, if you really put in that pain, bro, and you're crazy about it, like think about all the people that's the best in their industry, bro. Kanye, Elon Musk, these people are lunatics, bro. Like they're crazy about it, man. And so once you obsess at that level, bro, like you're gonna get it regardless. And so, man, I'm even still learning stuff to this day, bro. Like when I got hired on, I started teaching myself Adobe because I was never like, I was more like on Canva and CapCut, and like shout out to those because those is wonderful platforms, right? But the work that I wanted to do and the way I wanted to elevate my stuff, I needed to get into a lot more technical programs. And this is stuff I never learned in school. So self-taught graphic designer, self-taught video editor, still not where I want to be. I'm happy with where I'm at though. And a lot of ways to go, but taught myself Photoshop, taught myself Premiere Pro, learning After Effects on the job, bro. Like while I'm working, you get what I'm saying, in real time. So, man, literally just blessed, bro. But like social media is my life, bro. It's what I consume. It's what I love. It's what I'm passionate about. Anything creative, really, bro. But I think that I just understand it. I'm not gonna say like on a different level, right? Because there's a lot of people that's great in the profession, but man, I feel like I understand it at a different level, bro.
Right. Okay, so talk to me about the art of pivoting, right? You did a complete career pivot. Like you said, you were a bio major, chem minor. And you told me your passion is what led you to social media. Your passion is what led you into marketing and then into graphic design. Talk to me about the willingness you had though to pivot. Were you not hesitant? Were you not thinking, I've spent all this time putting my eggs in this basket? What does it look like if I just drop all my eggs and start fresh? Talk to me about that.
Nah, bro, so it's interesting, bro, and it reminds me of something that you said earlier about like, what if I would have started last year? What if I would have did this different or whatever, right? And when you really think about those things, it's only negative that comes out of it. It's only like self-doubt and stress in the future, right? It never brings anything positive, and nothing's going to change, right? So the mindset that I go into things with is like, all right, the best day to do it was yesterday and the second best day is today, right? So what can I do going forward? Instead of beating myself up about it, wasting my time and energy because it's not going to give me anything, bro. And so it was a lot of deep thought that I had to go into, right, and really prioritize, right? Like what I talked about, like saying that I don't want to run for Mr. DSU because once I really mapped out my game plan and made it make sense to me, it didn't make sense to nobody else. But once it made sense to me, bro, I was like, bet, we're gonna do it. It's two things, right? Being crazy when nobody else believes in it, and being crazy enough to believe in it yourself. Because then once you start believing in it, it starts happening, and people start being like, oh yeah, bet, I can see it. Now you can see it. You got to see it for yourself first, bro. That's one part. But the other part is you can't just be crazy and blind. Like you got to have some like structure to it, right? Like understand that you're always going to pivot. So, you know, like my goals might change and I might not hit them at the same time that I want to hit them. And I might have to do this and pivot again and whatever the case may be. But I'm always chasing after something. And I always have like a goal is like where I want to go and where I want to be, right? And so for a long time, like it was like, I just need to land that internship. And when I got the internship, I was like, okay, I need to continue to get more experience. And I just looked at it like one step at a time. And I have a whole thing of like things I want to accomplish. Mad of them shits on that list is not accomplished, right? But what a couple of them is, right? Because I was able to like strive after that, right? Like I gave myself something to like chase after, bro. Like that's what the human body craves. Like it wants something to wake up for and be passionate about and go after. Bro, whether it's the girl that you can't get that you chasing, whether it's the job that you're trying to get, whether it's level 3 in NBA 2K, like you gotta wake up and once, bro. Like, and so that was like really like my mindset. So I was crazy about it, but I was also like very calculated, and so I understood like, all right, boom. I've been taking summer classes because I've been working the summer. I have an opportunity to graduate early. If I graduate a semester early, I could then start my MBA early, which will give me some more experience and like foundational coursework in marketing. So now when I apply to internships and jobs, like I have something on my resume that like shows that, and I don't have to like overly explain it. People don't have to like feel like they're taking a risk on me because we see in it. And then it also gave me 2 extra years to like continue to intern and find like new opportunities. It's kind of like a safety net. So it made sense for me instead of going back to get another bachelor's, right? Like just go ahead and get my MBA, bro. But for a lot of people, right, like some people just go back to school because they don't know what they don't know what to do, right? And they're surprised when they come out of it and nothing changes. It's because you weren't calculated about like the moves that you were trying to make. Listen, everybody don't have to do what I did, bro. But for me, especially, I very much was like, I know where I know what field I want to be in. Okay. And it was less about the pay and more about being able to do something I love, or at least being close to it. And maybe you don't do something that you love automatically, right? But you get somewhere to a point where you can kind of take that lateral step there. Yeah. But I very much was like, if I have free time and energy and I don't got to pay rent and I'm unemployed after like, because I graduated in December, right? During that semester, I'm going to do something that's going to like push me to where I want to be. No disrespect to nobody, bro, but I very much was like, I don't want to work like retail. I don't want to work in something that is not going to, like a temporary job that's not going to put me where I want to be. I'm like, part of this risk and this sacrifice is taking that time to continue to build myself, my resume, my portfolio, continue to edit, continue to like build my skills. So that once the opportunity presented itself, bro, like my pops always told me, like success is when preparation meets opportunity. Opportunities come and people is not prepared to like step into that opportunity. Then you just wasting your time, bro. So listen, bro, it's a gamble, bro, but life is a motherfucking gamble. At this point, bro, I'm about to be 23, bro. I could go broke 3 times and still get rich. You get what I'm saying, bro? Yeah. So at this point, I'd rather take the risk now instead of when I'm 48 years old and be like, damn, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. So that's my mindset.
I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And that, I feel like that is the perfect mindset for us, not only as young men, but for us as young people to have, because like you said, we could go broke 3 times and life ain't over. It don't stop. Like you got it. And even if you get rich, you can go broke 3 times. Like it's always room for failure, but failure creates room for success. It creates room for bounce back. And so I want to talk to you about how, now that you've pivoted, you have the career that you want, you're building on those skills that you wanted to build, you're going to DC tomorrow. So that's kind of just a little glimpse into how you balance this adulthood. Talk to me about how you balance all this shit. How do you balance adulthood, school, post grad, getting a master's? Talk to me.
Bro, I'll be the most transparent person ever. This shit is hard. This shit is
Right.
difficult, bro. I go crazy sometimes, bro. Like I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm better than the next man, bro. Like everyone's dealing with their
Right.
own like mental health struggles and the reality of life and being away from family, being away from home, like obligation that you want to hit. And when you're crazy about something, bro, and you want to be successful as much as you want to breathe, bro, like when you don't hit your certain deadlines, right? When you don't hit your certain things that you want to accomplish, like it takes a toll on you, right? Like I could be lazy and be like, damn, well, oh well, and I could be happy, right? But like I choose to like want to go after more, right? And I don't like be honest, bro. Like not everything on my schedule every day or every week or every month, and sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get there, right? And sometimes I get into slumps, right? And that's the realness of it, right? But it's all about understanding that nobody gives a fuck, right? You got to dig yourself out of these slumps. Like it's only on you, right? It's only on you. And so balancing it just comes with a lot of discipline, man. I've been blessed to be in from playing sports growing up, man. Get your kids in sports, bro. Playing sports growing up to like being in student leadership to joining a fraternity to just understanding and learning discipline. The hardest part is when you have to discipline yourself. Not when your mom's is next door and you know that if you don't wash the dishes, she's gonna be on your behind, or if you don't show up to class in elementary school, they're gonna call your parents. And it's when nobody else is here, bro, and you gotta be like, I need to push myself to do this, right? Because this is what I want. It's difficult, bro. It's difficult. So, man, when I get in a slump, I just try not to beat myself up about it, and I just try to go forward with it, right? So, I think that's kind of like how I maintain, bro. Like, man, like healthy coping mechanisms, right, man? I mean, even in college, I feel like I realized that I was dealing with things in a negative way, like my problems in a negative way, right? Like, man, dealing with multiple women, drinking a lot, all these different stuff, man, and everything's cool, like in on occasion, right? Like nothing in excess, right? But learning myself, right? Like after I graduated and being alone with myself, becoming emotionally mature and mentally mature, and just like doing a lot of inner healing, bro. I started to learn and learn more about myself. Like I feel like I know myself like inside and out now. And a lot of people just got to take the time to like really do that. And once you do, bro, you really get to see like what you're passionate about, like what turns you on, what makes you go, like how to like comfort yourself and heal and take care of yourself at the same time, and discipline yourself without being too disciplined, right? And it's a fine line with all of this shit, bro. And yeah, bro, for sure, man. Like just really taking the time to like heal and like understand yourself, bro. Bro, even like journaling, right? I wasn't a fan of all of it, none of this stuff. Like as a man, like opening up, talking to somebody, like I'm about to start therapy soon. Like it's positive, it's healthy, it's different things that we need to be doing, like in our community, finding healthy ways to express yourself, whether it's exercise and whether it's, bro, the human to human connection, or just like having a community and people like, bro, my senior year, I mean, shit, most of college, bro, I loved it, bro. I had people in my area that was in the same demographic as me. We had the same interests, same age group. We was on the same type vibe. You go to a new city, right? And you have to be very intentional about going out and doing that. But once you do find your people, bro, like it's healing, bro. It's healing, bro, to have like that support group around you. And the biggest thing, bro, about balancing, in my opinion, is just having something to strive after, right? It might sound like counterproductive when it comes to balancing, because it sounds like it's adding more to your plate. But I think the biggest part of balance is discipline, and the biggest part of discipline is like having a why, having a reason. And so being having something that you wake up to every day and be like, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to strive after. Like I said, whether it is a person, place, or thing, I want to make my family happy, I want to achieve this, and really like selling that dream to yourself, and investing in it, and being like, I won't lay down until I achieve this, bro. That shit gives you your why, and that shit helps you stay disciplined, bro. And bro, I can't say it enough. you gotta be easy on yourself, because it's very easy to like get overwhelmed and get stressed out by all of this stuff, and you're not on the right timeline and all of this other stuff. And bro, people go through shit, bro. Like I know everybody's going through shit, but man, people really go through shit. And the money ain't gonna make you happy. Like it's gonna give you comfort, it's gonna give you stability, it's gonna give you a level of peace. But at the end of the day, like you get used to that and you're not gonna be happy, right? And the happiness really is like everything in between, right? Is that process of being able to strive to something and getting closer. Like think about people go to the gym and they start to see a little bit of progress and like how they feel about that, bro. Like it's about just like being happy about everything in between, because once you get there, like bro, it's just money at the end of the day. Like it's just a car. It's just a like the vacation is gonna end one day. Like it's just a person. Like you have to continue to keep falling in love with the things that you're around and the stuff that you're putting yourself into. Like people retire all the time and end up dying out of nowhere, right? Because there's nothing more that they want. There's nothing more that they're striving for. They got no sense of purpose, bro. So, bro, none of this shit matters, bro. None of the corporate stuff, none of the job, the work, the school, bro. We all going to check one day at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And we can't take none of this stuff with us, bro. Live the life you want. Take the risk. Do the things that make you happy, bro. And in return, bro, it's gonna make you happy in the long run.
Yeah. So, I think tonight you have dropped too many fucking gems to count. They said you definitely dropped some gems, but the one I want the audience to stick with, they said he said it, and he said it here first, and he said it here best. I've never heard it before in my life, but I'm gonna keep using it. Be ass fast. They said be ass fast. I like that. I like that. Be ass. They said we don't have time to be waiting around to get good. All right. They said you have to put in the work to get good. You have to train. You have to build your skills. They said these are things that you have to do. So you're not ass. So be ass fast. Yeah, not slow.
So scared, bro. I don't think I heard nobody say it, but people have said it in different ways. But in those three words, probably nobody said it like that. But yeah, bro. People are so scared about things, areas of growth and things that they're not familiar with, things that they're not good at. And bro, the biggest thing that I learned is just anything that I'm scared of, you gotta run to it like full head of steam, bro, and conquer those fears, bro. I'm scared of heights, bro. What I do, bro, I go on roller coasters and I jump out of planes and shit, bro. And I'm still scared of heights, but I feel a little bit better now, bro. But once you get that mindset of just being like, man, crazy and just running, chasing after the things that you run from, bro, like, man, you start to overcome so much, bro. You start to overcome so much. So I implore everybody to do so, bro, for sure.
Definitely. And I agree. I think balancing being an adult, all of these things are for us to kind of, figure out at our own pace, figure out on our own time and our own terms.
Never gonna understand it, bro. Never
gonna understand it. Yeah, never. And it's one of those things where it's like a never-ending conversation as well. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no, like he said a couple of times, there's no right way to figure out career after grad life. There's no way to figure out how to become yourself. You feel me? More than already who you thought you was. Until you have that time to sit with yourself, until you have that time to better yourself, you don't know what it is that your life has in store. And that's why I say people take it day by day. Literally, take it day by day. Take it day by day, but also don't slack it. Don't go through the motions. Live in the moment, though. You feel me? And when you are living in the moment, you don't miss nothing. You know what I'm saying? You come away with so much experience and so many memories from just living. So I implore y'all to fucking live. I implore y'all to live, and I implore y'all to be ass fast by none other than my boy Elijah Brown. This was a phenomenal interview. This was by far one of my favorite guests that I've had on. They said, and I want to tell you, yes, he said it like 5 times. He was very introverted. He was very introverted. This is probably the most I've ever heard this guy talk. And I've known him for 5 minutes. They said, so absolutely watch this entire video. Take these gems and stick them in your motherfucking pocket and use them as crystals. They said because they will be useful in post-grad life. And of course, they will be useful in your after school days. It is your boy, none other than Call Me Doc Crazy, aka Kobe Nasir Wallace, and I am here with none other than Elijah Brown. And we just had a phenomenal episode. But this is the Crazy Talk podcast, and it is your boy, and we are signing out. Yes, sir.
Love and prosperity, my brothers and sisters.